Blaze Heatniks and the Skiver can be a devious combination, but your success primarily comes down to one thing. Under no circumstance should you let Heatniks take out the top half of the arena. If you do, you'll have no space to work with, and the Skiver will have a field day ending this battle. Now, the quickest way to do that is to take advantage of the ground dash, which is Heatniks' weakness. The problem is, if you're going to hit him with only the charged version, you can't afford to miss, otherwise you'll run out of weapon energy. The benefit of using the charged version though, is that it freezes the battle, lines up your shot, and allows you to go after him. But you're not guaranteed to hit him because he is a fairly mobile Maverick. Unfortunately, you don't have the gravity well to take advantage of like we did in some of the other sections, but the normal version of this weakness is fine if you understand that you might take a hit or two. Either way, what you need to do is make sure to try to take him out before you run out of space to work with. I don't think I'm going to make it in this particular case, but if you're close enough, then you can still out-damage those two Mavericks. Now, once you're down to the Skiver, things get a little more manageable. Honestly, what you just need to do is keep in mind that the Skiver's going to worry about the bottom half of the stage and just stay out of his way. Jump up, wall climb, pop a shot, repeat. And that's pretty much going to take care of phase one. Keep in mind that every so often he will come up high, but once he gets into phase two and starting to dive at you, there's not a lot of space to work with. You're probably going to get hit once or twice. Just do what you can to stay mostly out of his way. But once he stays up high, you've got a good platform to work with to try to knock him out. So just take advantage and honestly try to do as much damage to him as possible once he's in stage 2 as quickly as you can so that you don't have to deal with these diving attacks too often. That should take care of 8-1. Those of you that came over from stage 7, wondering what the plot twist was in stage 8, here it is. Stage 8 is much easier than stage 7. Potentially. So we have Blizzard Wolfang and Dark Dizzy, who we've dealt with before in probably more dangerous situations. Really, those of you that went through some of Wolfang's levels understand what we're going to do here. Go ahead and go with the charged Magma Blade. Take him out as soon as possible, but understand that you might get hit out of the charged shot. So if that happens, you're going to waste your ammo and prolong the battle. So be mindful of that. And if you don't think you can find a good opportunity to take advantage of the charged shot, then go ahead and just use the regular Magma Blade. But either way, go ahead and take him out relatively quickly. Don't worry about the hits. Keep in mind tip 2, neither of them are doing a lot of damage to you at once. And once you take out Wolfang, Dark Dizzy has never, ever been a real threat. Well, maybe with the Skiver, if you didn't know the trick with the gravity well. But in his typical games and in fights like these, he's not a real threat. Just treat him like you normally would. Take advantage of tip number 4. Use the charge shot. That'll plow through and cancel out his projectiles, which are these bats. He's going to move around, typically vertically, horizontally. He may try to swoop down after you, but eventually he'll get to this point where he'll go 3 different times with this sonic burst, and even if that happens, and he freezes time, and you can't stop him from freezing time, he still won't do a lot of damage to you. He'll just come up, and try to hit you with a few more bats. Really, I kind of feel like this guy was misdesigned, and honestly, I don't think that this guy should have been worth a lot of appearances in the X Challenge. But here we are, and thankful for us, 8-2 is not that difficult. So, Morph, Moth, and the Commander. Really, when it comes to this would be a lot harder if they did more damage to you. There's a lot to avoid, and you're unlikely to avoid it all. But fortunately for you, you don't have a lot of damage to deal with, so the real way they can beat you is if you get overwhelmed. So go ahead and bring Yammark's weakness. Take advantage of the fact that the charge shot can hit both of them, and get a good start on both of them. This will go a long way. Don't worry about the damage too much that you're doing to Morph Moth, because we've dealt with this and done this battle before. But as you can see, we're only a few seconds in, and we've already taken out the Commander, and we're down to Morph Moth. When it comes to Morph Moth, you can go back. You have a few different options. You can take advantage of the charge shot and the plasma that comes with it to take out some of this garbage. You can take advantage of the fact that the Magma Blade is not a bad weapon to use. You have a few different options here. One thing I do want to make note of, in particular when we get to stage 2 and the actual Moth part of Morph Moth, is that there is a decent, it's not perfect, but there is a decent blind spot on the bottom left part of the screen where he's unlikely to hit you incredibly well, especially if you duck. And if you're lucky, you can even get him in a little bit of a mini loop, because it looks like his AI doesn't fully get down to where he expects to go if you crouch down. But otherwise, he's not the hugest threat. As you can see, I can duck down here, and he doesn't really know what to do in this situation. So take a moment and just hit him as needed, if it really comes down to it. It's not completely consistent, but it gets you a good amount of shots on him. Well, that's 8-3 for Volume 1. Next up is Volume 2. I have a general rule when it comes to these battles. I didn't put it on the list of tips in the description, which, by the way, check out. But it is something I pay attention to nonetheless. If something can kill you in one hit, make sure to prioritize that. In this case, Duff McWhalen and his Phase 2. Make sure you use the Crescent Shot or the charged version of the Crescent Shot, and make sure that he is not going to bug you and knock you into those spikes. Yes, you're going to take some damage from Metal Shark Player, but I would rather take a few hits than risk getting the one-hit KO. So go ahead and take the hits, knock him out. You're still going to get almost halfway down on Metal Shark Player in the process, if he's sticking with you as much as he wants to. So really, if you wanted to, you'll notice that Metal Shark Player was at half health and I was at a quarter health, and that was running into him multiple times with that shield. If you really want to, you could finish off this battle by just using the charged Crescent Shot. But this is another way to do it. You can just keep your distance a little bit more and hit him with the charge shots. So that will pretty much take out stage 8. Stage 9 is orders of magnitude tougher than anything we have gone to this point. So I'm sure a lot of you are here for that. And please stay tuned so that I can tell you how to survive these incredibly tough battles. I'll see you for the finale to the series.